Okay, it's almost the end of the year, and it is that time again where I do, on my channel, I do my best movies of 2016.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true. No! No!
You got nothing on me. You know it, I know it. I'm changing dollar bills, that's all.
Well, I'm not going home.
We've got too far!
A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
You chose the wrong side.
I want your future!
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say
Yeah, but the problem with having all that money is that sooner or later you're going to have to explain where it came from.
we can break this army here.
At a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions. This is your time.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
Seize the day.
Touch the Chicago.
Man in a suit of armor. Take that away. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, philanthropist.
No, my name is the Lord. When I tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our Independence Day.
And these are movies that you flock to the theaters to go see. You saw that, you went to go see them because you were like, I gotta go see that movie, and I'm gonna do it no matter what, no matter if I gotta go to work, no matter if I gotta do this and that. But we flocked, all of us flocked to the movies in 2016 to go see these movies. And these are the movies I did see. Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna be watching that in a little while, but it's not on my best and worst of list. So I really don't have too much knowledge of it. So this is my list of the best movies of 2016 picked by me, your reviewer. All right, number one, Terminus. Terminus was a movie about a spear that was found by a person who had no memory of what happened. You know, he has a car accident, and then the soldier hooks up with the guy who had the car accident, and then the spear has some kind of healing properties, and he's able to heal. It's able to heal different stuff, including limbs. And the little girl that comes on it was very. This is the kind of movie you don't really go see at the movies. You don't really flock to the theaters to go see it, but it was definitely one of the best movies of 2016. It's probably one of the most overlooked movies of 2016. So basically, I give this movie my number one best. My number one. My list goes backwards, okay? Just like my speech right now. I'm sorry. Number one doesn't mean it's the number one movie of 2016, okay? For me, all right. Okay, next movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. The reason this movie is on my list not because Megan Fox, that's for sure, because she can't act. She looks not because of that. It's because there was more time spent with the turtles on the movie. And there was there's always your problems with the movie. Like Shredder, he really had nothing much to give to the movie at all. But just to see Krang and to see his ship on this new movie, it was so awesome. And and the turtles were able to shine a little more on this film. So number two, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of Shadow is my favorite number two movie of 2016. Moving on. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. A lot of people complained about this movie, a lot of reviewers anyways, and I recognize the problems with this movie. The problems with this movie is they try to say there's too much characters to stack into one film, and they set up the DC universe within the movie when they could have did that afterwards in the end credit scenes or something like that. That's what they were saying. And Ben Affleck, he even cried about it. He cried about this movie. But actually, I think Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is one of the best movies of 2016 for the mere reason we see Batman and Superman have at it. And there's problems with that because we only get maybe like 7 or 11 minutes of them battling. But to the main attraction of this whole film, and it's not Doomsday, okay? Because he kind of looks a little bit like an orc from the Lord of the Rings, or kind of, you know what I mean? He kind of looks a little bit like recycled from the Lord of the Rings or Warcraft or something like that. No, it was Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot was awesome on this movie. She totally stole this movie. She totally stole everybody's imagination about this movie. This movie's a fan favorite of us, the fans. We're your moviegoers. We're not I'm not a legit critic on YouTube, okay? Yeah, I am in my own mind. But I know about movies, and I'm able to do this, okay? I have knowledge of film. Anyways, and Batman vs. Superman is my number 3 favorite movie of 2016 on my list. And moving on, X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse is number 4. Number 4, X-Men Apocalypse. This movie, the reason it's on here, it's on the beginning of my list because it wasn't that good of a movie. But what really saved the saving grace of this whole freaking film, because Jennifer Lawrence looked like she could care less about this movie. She was on it at all, and half the time she wasn't even Mystique. You didn't even actually see her become her alter ego, Raven Darkhelm. She, become her mutant form most of the time. She was kind of just like looking at her watch to see if this is my last one. I might as well make it. The crappiest performance imaginable. But be that as it may, Quicksilver, just like in the X-Men Days of Future Past, Quicksilver really saved this movie a whole lot, okay? There was too much going on. They didn't piece it together. It's like they were trying to do the Phoenix Saga at one point. It looks like they were trying to set up the team. And there was a lot of 80s references on this movie. One of my favorite probably is the Quicksilver with the Michael Jackson jacket. That was awesome. He did a moonwalk as he was saving. He has the whole best scene in the film, including when the Phoenix, Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix, and almost to the end of the movie. And another problem I thought that I thought this movie could have fixed is Apocalypse himself. Okay, Apocalypse was short. The guy, I'm 5'10" or 5'9.5". That guy looks about 5'7", and I remember his stuff in Star Wars, the Force Awakens, but he really didn't fit the part. He looks more like the Dudley Moore or the Martin Short of Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is not weak. He cannot be killed by the Phoenix. He cannot be killed by enemies. An eternal mutant. And that's the biggest problem I thought about this movie that it had. That it really didn't mesh well with this overall story. But other than that, it was a great action film. I ended up liking this movie in it. And I give this movie number 4 on my list. Moving on. Number 3. 13 Hours Secret Soldiers of the Benghazi. Okay? Secret Soldiers of the Benghazi was actually one of the most overlooked films of 2016. It basically talks about the attack that happened in the U.S. Embassy, and there happened to be some victims in it, and there's a conspiracy behind it, and her name is Hillary Clinton. But this movie, directed by Michael Bay, this movie does not have any Michael Bay cliches. Could you believe that? It doesn't have any Michael Bay cliches. Oh my God, no overhead shots of people looking in the air. It has no people getting out of the car really slowly. It has no people looking overhead or no shots looking up at somebody. And there's no annoying explosions where it look. I mean, I like explosions. Don't get me wrong. I love explosions on movies, but that was over. It's well done. It's overcooked by Michael Bay. And I give Michael Bay 2 thumbs up for making a movie that really got down to the problem of the film, even though they don't know exactly what happened and they kind of pinned it on Hillary Clinton. But I'm not a politician. So moving on. Shin Godzilla. I made a video not too long ago called Why Godzilla Resurgence, aka Shin Godzilla, aka Shin Gojira, aka blah 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 blah. why it sucks. And now I got to sit down and watch the movie. I've got to see it, and I got the reason it's on this list of best movies of 2016 is based on special effects, on execution, not for the actors. Maybe there's one actress on the whole film that actually she has a lot of personality, because not just because she does some of her scenes were done in English because she spoke in English half the time because she was very charming. It just kind of gives the film a lot of color because a lot of the actors are just a bunch of people. They were just talking. You really didn't care what the hell they were saying. But Godzilla himself was very terrifying on this film, and the end part, and I'm going to save that for right now when I say it, but Godzilla, to me, did not look like Godzilla. That was my biggest problem with this film. But execution-wise, special effects-wise, it's the best special effects I've seen in eons, really, because that's what's the saving grace of this film. Godzilla was horrifying on this film. He looked like a coke addict, and he was definitely a coke addict on this film, because basically he stumbles around the whole beginning of the film, and then he starts to get into kind of, he evolves, and the reason he evolves, and these are the spoilers, okay, if you haven't seen Shin Godzilla, you might want to cover your ear. He eats people on this film. When he's Eel Godzilla, dubbed Eel Godzilla, when he comes out of steps right out of the ocean, he kind of looks like a puppet in one part. But outside of that, he starts eating people. You can't see it on camera. That would have been much more horrifying if they would have did it like that. When that scene where he's getting the cars and he's just, oh my God, just destroying everything in his path. That's when he got the people at the very end of the film where he gets frozen. You see his tail. They kind of give you a notion that it's going to happen during the movie because his tail starts to expand a little bit, little by little. If you catch that shot, those of you have seen Shin Godzilla, and at the very end where he evolves and completely gets frozen, and you see like some dead bodies at the end of his tail, and their skeletal form, and they have Godzilla's dorsal fins right up back. That was chilling, and that's why I give Shin Godzilla a chance. I give it a chance. Sorry, guys. Miracles from Heaven. Miracles from Heaven. The reason this movie's on my list, because a lot of people are not aware, but I'm Christian, okay? And I'm still a human. I'm still, just like everybody else, I make mistakes. But the reason Miracles of Heaven is on this movie, because it has a very touching story. It has the little girl on the movie, Jennifer Garner on the movie, were fantastic. This movie, it was a real tearjerker. I mean, speaking seriously, it was a real tearjerker, and that's why I loved it. And it gives you, take away religion, okay? I'm talking about Christianity here, and a lot of you, my subscribers, might not be Christians. It's all right, no problem. But it talks about faith in something that's not going to happen, faith in something that's not possible, and she gets healed at the very end. It's a true story, so you might want to check it out. Moving on, Jason Bourne, Matt Damon. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the Bourne Identity films at all. The Bourne films, I haven't seen. Maybe I've seen bits and pieces of them. But Jason Bourne, basically, on execution with the action scene, that's where I'm bought. And especially the last fight scene where the last bad guy in the whole film, that was awesome. Because you don't see a lot of that. So it gives you, that's why Jason Bourne is definitely my number 5 film, best film of 2016, because it was awesome. It definitely redeemed me. I might actually go check out all the rest of the Bourne films because of this film. All right, Warcraft is my number 6. For 6th film of 2016, based on, because the special effects, in my honest opinion, I loved it, and just the way the orcs and a lot of the secondary characters really meshed well on the film is what really bought me. I have no idea what the hell Warcraft was before. I know they were cards, so I come to this, watching this film, very much a new film goer to the universe, anyways. So, but the only thing that didn't make sense is the main protagonists of the film. I think his name was Tataran or something like that, dies in the middle of the film and gets killed by the warlock on this film. That didn't make any sense, and I really didn't like that, but there's probably going to be a sequel. Moving on. Risen. Take away religion. Like everybody claims this is religion. Take away everything you believe in, whether you're atheist or Christian. This movie talks about what happened right after Jesus rose from the grave, and what the man was faced with afterwards. The man that had to look for the body of Jesus Christ, and of course he doesn't find him because history tells it it's in the body. I don't want to get into it, but he doesn't find the body. When he does finally find the body, and he's kind of like, and probably one of my favorite actors who's done a lot of work lately with Fear the Walking Dead. He did a really stand-up job on this film. This whole movie should definitely get nominated for an Oscar. I that's why I vote Risen should be in the Oscars. Vote for it. Moving on. Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Beyond, because it has Idris Elba. That's the selling point, right? I think so. Everybody, including, even though this whole film, it kind of delves into Star Trek, the original TV series. It's kind of like the plot lines about how they go into planets and they have these adventures, and that's what happens on the film. And I really liked it. Normally I don't like that, okay, because the last Star Trek, the Next Generation films, I thought were awfully dull. And this movie was awesome. And Chris Pine and Idris Elba and Zoe Saldana and all these different, and Carl Urban, everybody was there. Everybody was present. It's like you kind of took a look at their characters and you were like, I'm here. Watch this film. And of course, the tragedy that struck this film, Anton Yelchin dying, Scotty, who played Scotty on this film, and I was just so, I don't even know how to deal with it, honestly, because, I'm thinking, Illuminati. But moving on, my next film, number 9 on my list, is Suicide Squad. And the reason I gave Suicide Squad a chance, because taken away from the dark spots of this film, where there was a lot of really bad cinematography, like when they had this battle with these walking turds. They look like walking turds. Looks like something I took a dump in and just put it on the film. But other than that, Harley Quinn was awesome. Deadshot was awesome. El Diablo, whatever you call him, the homeboy on this Vato Loco on this film, we had pyrotechnic powers. And the best part of this film, obviously, Harley Quinn. And I love that. And that whole thing, the whole setup, a lot of these people didn't have backstories. I didn't know half of these people. And of course, the spoilers of this film, Bruce Wayne, Batman comes on this film. And of course, you see the Flash on this film, and you see at the end when he's talking to the main loser on this film, Amanda Waller, hater. And you see the setup for Justice League is coming out right around the corner. All right, moving on. Doctor Strange, probably one of the most unexpected hits of 2016 for me, because I didn't see this movie as being funny at all, because with the opening of Britney Spears, it's I did it again. Yeah, forget it. And there's a lot of musical references on this film. There's a lot of cultural references on the film that Doctor Strange makes on the film. And Benedict Cumberbatch funny, I just don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. But the guy made me laugh, and it's the situations in the film that made me laugh, including his cape of levitation at the end, very end, where he's talking to Thor, where it sets up maybe Thor Ragnarok, maybe Avengers Infinity War. I give Doctor Strange one of the best films, being one of my final 10 films on this list, as one of the best films, because the overall special effects are revolutionary. Especially the scene where Doctor Strange locks Dormammu into this dimension where he has to relive the same moment over and over and over and over. Moving on, Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven. Oh my God, what can I say about this movie? It was awesome. And okay, taken away that it has such a simple premise, and this movie was basically for us to have a great time at the movies. It wasn't. It's not gonna. It's not your sophisticated plot or not anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. It was because it was just a damn good film. Because it was about action. It was about the seven. Okay. Each of these characters, Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, and all these, and Vincent D'Onofrio in particular. These guys really nailed this film, including Haley Bennett, who was on this movie, who was a supporting character. And even the character of Bogue, but I kind of think he was underused, and you didn't really see his motivation other than he was just an industrialist who was just looking to steal from the towns that he would go to steal from because he was in control of them. But Magnificent Seven, because of execution, because of the Tombstone and Young Gun references on it, because Vasquez and Chris Pratt's character that was very funny on this movie. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. Okay, and Deadpool, probably one of the funniest films. No, forget that. Forget it altogether. The funniest film of 2016 was Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds he was really into doing this film, right? Don't you think so? I think so. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus was just a CGI image, and the main villain on this film were just spectacular. This movie did not take itself seriously, and it made fun of itself, and there's so many references to different films, including Green Lantern, including Wolverine and stuff. It's so funny, and the music, I love it because it's 80s and 90s music. And Deadpool really definitely has to be taking away the crudeness of it because of rated R rating, but it was awesome. The action was awesome. The comedy was so on point. And Ryan Reynolds, I give you 2 thumbs up because you really nailed it, bro. All right, we're getting down to the line here, and my final 3 movies of 2016. And the reason this film is on here because it was actually released last year in a special screening. The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it won an award already for Best Actor, Best Director. And that's pretty much what I got to say about that film because it's basically the human spirit and trying to make it through a harsh winter because he gets left for dead by these guys selling these skins, and then he has to fend for his life, and his son tries to help him and gets killed. And of course, we all know what happens then. And just the overall acting without actually saying anything. That's why this film is number 3 on my list. And we're getting down to the bone here. Number 2, Captain America: Civil War. Basically, this movie was fan service for me because this movie set up Avengers: Infinity War pretty well. And just the throwdown at the airport alone, and the throwdown between Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Iron Man was awesome. Was stupendous, was revolutionary. Everything we wanted to see in movies, we got to see. We got to see our favorite heroes throw it down at the freaking airport. Totally awesome. And that's why I give this movie my number 2 movie of 2016 is Captain America: Civil War with a bullet. And drum roll, please. My number 1 movie, and this is it's director Mel Gibson. It's like this guy has had a big controversy over the last couple of years because of his strange anecdotes, but it's like he told Hollywood, excuse me when I say this, up yours! Because Hacksaw Ridge is my number 1 movie of 2016, and I'm sure in a lot of other lists, film critics on YouTube, it's going to be as well. Hacksaw Ridge by far is the number 1. It's like actor Mel Gibson was telling people who directed movies like Passion of the Christ, which is known for its violence, because Andrew Garfield, my God, it increases his credibility because I didn't think this guy can act because of, you know what I'm talking about, Amazing Spider-Man. That pretty much sums it up. But Andrew Garfield is now a credible actor. This is definitely Academy Award-winning, Oscar Globe nomination for sure, because his execution on this film, his conviction of this film, it's about a guy who's a Seventh-day Adventist who will not lift a finger to kill anybody, decides to go to the war, and he gets involved in it. It becomes a brutality, it becomes a complete bloodbath, and he saves people, and it's about Desmond Doss's story, and The only problem that I thought was the way they montage at the very end and the middle. The film just ends abruptly. But other than that, this is the #1 film of 2016 by far for me. Given that Captain America Civil War was awesome and so was The Revenant, I gave this film the #1 spot in my list. All right, you guys, if you like what you see here, if you want to subscribe to this channel, share this video, like this video, comment on my list, even though you don't like it. Maybe you could put below what you thought was the best movies of 2016, even though my videos are probably a little bit long. All right, you guys, I'll see you real soon for my worst of list. Get ready.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
She's a bitch!
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with fly, think.
We found the bulk of the dirty cash. Time to move in.
The price is wrong.
You got knocked up.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
This is Sparta!
He slimed me.
The who? The her.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
I'll be back.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.